Smooth jazz.
Publishers.
You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
The music isn't really indicative of our
No.
energy level right now. I feel like our energy level is really good.
Yeah. We gotta change that intro.
Very interesting.
No,
I like
it.
the I like the
Yeah, I
intro.
like
What are you
it.
talking about? We're getting a lot of good feedback about it. Just a sexy British voice. How can you go wrong?
It's just too soothing.
What's up, everyone? Paul Paslakis with Inside Real Estate. We've got Salvatore Kuzmano. We've got
Morning.
Brad Weisgerber.
Morning.
We even have Chad Ruley, who I'm hoping doesn't say much. How are you, Chad?
I'm doing well, Paul.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very good. So we've got special guests in the studio today, real producers of Oakland County publishers, Tara and Chris Chody.
You got it.
I nailed it. So before we get started, to all the audience, thank you all for subscribing, following us. But please go ahead and go to your iTunes, go to Spotify, go to our website at irepodcast.com. Make sure you follow us. We really appreciate the support. We can't do what we do without you. Moving on today, obviously we've got Tara and Chris in the studio. You guys are publishers of a really cool magazine. So I want to talk about your magazine, what it means, what it's doing. I think it's a really cool concept that you guys are doing. I also want to talk about the industry right now and how things are changing in real estate and where we see it going over the next 5 years. I think there's going to be a lot of massive change. And the third section of our show is going to be 3 questions for Sal. I feel like Sal doesn't get to really impart a lot of his knowledge sometimes, and he's one of the smartest loan officers I know. So I really kind of wanted to ask him 3 questions.
Is it going to be about being a loan officer? About
I don't know.
mortgages?
Well, you're going to find out. We're going to
Sal's an interesting human in general.
He's very interesting. And at the end of the show, the real producers have an announcement. So let's start with you guys. Tell us about your story, how you guys got into this business. Funny story. I met Chris before I met Tara because Chris pitched me about this magazine.
I don't pitch.
You
by the
pitched.
way.
You pitched
I
the
don't
fuck out of
pitch.
me. So, so it was the last place we worked. Unfortunately, the last place I worked, they didn't see value in it. We opened up our own shop, and then Tara, who I actually went to high school with, a little known fact, we graduated in the same year. We reconnected, and we're doing the magazine. So talk to us about your magazine. Tell us a little bit about it. What?
How did you meet Chris before you met Tara if you went to high school with Tara?
It's weird.
I got that.
How early did you pitch this idea?
Right. I was with you.
Well, I met him. Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
I met him about the magazine prior to meeting Tara about the magazine, but I knew
Okay.
Tara prior. Okay. Are we clear
I'm just
now?
clarifying.
Are we clear now?
It was confusing.
So tell us about your story, guys. Jesus.
So N2 Publishing is the company that produces these publications. They started in 2004, and right now they have 1,000 private publications that go to affluent communities. So I've been doing those private magazines for affluent communities like Bloomfield, Birmingham, Oakland Township since 2012. So I started in January of 12, and about 4 years ago, they actually came up with this idea in Indy as another product to add to the neighborhood magazine. So Remington Ramsey spearheaded the initiative to start this program. He had a lot of relationships with realtors, and he realized that there was an area of opportunity to connect vendors with realtors and also build relationships in the real estate community. So he saw a void there. So that one publication 3-4 years ago has now turned into over 60 across the country. So Tara actually done an amazing job. She was actually going to start this on her own at the end of 2016. She went to training, came back, and after a month, she realized full-time with the kids wasn't going to work. So we put it on the back burner till the end of 17. That's when we went full board together. And she's done an amazing job, and I'm thankful that she's involved in this.
Yeah, she's much more talented than you.
100%.
So just so the audience understands.
Yeah, and by the way, when I was talking with Paul at the last event, I mentioned that I'm glad that I don't need to stand up there. And, of course, he made fun of my looks and complimented Tara. He's like, you do well on a podcast. You didn't tell me that it's recorded.
No, people
so.
are watching. So just so the audience understands this publication, it's Real Producers of Oakland County here in Michigan. I know we got listeners all over the place, even Sweden, which is weird. The Sweden fans, what's up? So basically, you guys, it's a publication that goes out to the 500 top real estate agents in that market, in that county, right?
Right.
And it's interesting because this concept is the real estate agents are featured in the magazine, and the way that it works is partners like us who pay for advertising in the actual publication actually pay for the ability for this publication to go out, which is genius because it gives the real estate agent an opportunity to be featured. You do a lot of features, stories on these real estate agents, and it only goes to real estate agents, so it's almost like a who's who of real estate agents.
Right. Yeah, so the publication, it goes to the top 500 realtors in Oakland County. And then, we feature top producers every month. We feature rising stars. We feature brokers. And really, our goal is to tell their story. So people, they might see their name, but this really gives an inside look, into who they are and their background, more than just a name. So our goal is to build stronger relationships in the real estate community. So we have our publication, but then we also do events throughout the year where we can bring together and we invite the top 500 realtors with our preferred partners and in a fun social setting, just again to build stronger relationships. And you guys were at our event that we had in September, our launch party with over 150 people there. And our next one's going to be in January, which details will be coming soon about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're super excited. I mean, when I first heard about the magazine, I was like, oh, well, I guess I saw it on Facebook or something. I was like, oh, another magazine, right? But after looking at it and reading it, it was just cool because it's like, it's not just like for anyone, right? It's not just like something that's going to show up at the door of Keller Williams. It's going to show up for that each specific agent who is doing the right things in the market. Which, when you do these events, it's cool because everyone gets together and kind of shares their practices, talks about the market, and like you said, just becomes better friends.
What I like about it, and what I really enjoy, like I thought about it, and the reason we signed up is because it's creating kind of a community of the who's who in the game, right? A lot of the people at the event that we went to are people that we've worked with, we've talked to, or we've heard their names, right? And like being able to like kind of put faces with names, and it's just creating like a nice little, like, it's almost like a network of people within that community, and it's super, super interesting on that level. I was actually more excited about that part of it than even the publication. The publication's great, don't get me wrong. It's really well done. That's the whole thing about this. Everything's really well done. It's all top notch. It's not like I don't know, like one of those like house magazines you pick up at the Coney Island where you pick it up for free.
Well,
right?
It has the top-notch people in it. You know, everyone featuring that magazine, they're not going anywhere in this business.
Yeah.
What meaning, like falling out, right? They're going somewhere, that's for sure, but not like
these are top agents, right?
Yeah, it's like it's not like, oh yeah, I was in a magazine once and now I'm working at Meyer. It's the top agents in the county.
Yeah, and I remember when Tara came into our office.
I worked at Meyer.
You did? Yeah. What'd you do there?
Were
you the greeter at the door?
I pushed cards.
Yeah,
I was the greeter.
Who's that asshole in the parking lot?
He's getting cards. Chody.
You call the guy in the parking lot an asshole, but
Not all of them. Sometimes
we need that guy, dude.
Yeah, massive.
We
line
do
of
need
cards
him.
and
We
they park
need
you
that
in. They
guy.
don't give a fuck if you're trying to leave.
Man, this show is off the rails
I'm
already.
sorry.
This is great.
It's a great morning.
So when we signed up, like it was like Tara's like, well, we're not putting any more loan companies in here. You might want to sign up. But she did such a good job selling the shit out of us. And then I was like, all right, what do I got to do? And she's like, well, you just got to have to sign up for a 3-year contract. And I told 3-year contract, you can't break it. And I was like, okay, we're in. And then I told Chad about it. And Chad's like, what do you mean 3 full years? Like
that's my Ferrari payment.
Chad's like Donnie from the Big Lebowski.
He is Donnie.
I take
coming
real
in out of
offense to
nowhere.
that, by the way, I appreciate it.
You take offense to that.
So
Dude's an icon.
Yeah.
So,
Donnie's
like,
an idiot.
here's the thing. There's a lot of, like, magazines out there. Like, what sets yours apart from it? Like, in your opinion, like, if I'm a real estate agent, why do I want to be in this publication, right? I mean, I know why, but tell the audience why you think it's important.
As a whole, print media across the country is dead or dying.
Yeah.
But if you look up niche print, it's thriving, and that's why our company's done an amazing job because it's very targeted. Whether we're looking at the real producer publication or the neighborhood publications, they're very targeted, which ensures that people are reading it, which ensures that our partners are going to be in front of that target audience. So as far as the realtors, I mean, what do they get out of it? The biggest thing is they're sharing their story, so they're obviously getting a little recognition that way, but almost everyone featured, they order a lot of reprints, hundreds. Across the country, we've had people order thousands of reprints and use that as a sales tool.
It's like a marketing tool,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So we can make a 4-page, put them on the cover with their article and then their contact info on the back. But as Tara mentioned, bringing people together, that's the biggest thing. Informing other realtors, building relationships. That's
Well,
the
you
biggest thing.
never know what alliances could be made at one of those events, right? It's kind of like,
Well, that's
Right.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. Is like I went to the last event, and I met someone who I've run across 1,000 times, and we were in the same circle, and we just finally started talking, and we went and we met with their team. Now we're like in talks, and now we potentially could create a relationship out of that. That's really the value of this whole thing, in my opinion.
right. And even amongst themselves, the realtors, right?
yeah.
Like building teams or recruiting. I mean, who knows, right? It could.
Yeah, and it also it also makes you want. It's kind of like creating the cool kids. Like you want to be featured now, right? Like
Yeah.
you've had some pretty good names. I mean, you've had Mark Z on there, Kyle Amato, which is a friend of the show. He was featured as an up and riser. These are like actual names of
Right.
people that are doing stuff in the industry.
And the Rising Star, I love the Rising Star because these are agents that are newer in the business, only been in the business 5 years or less, and
Yeah.
it just gets their name out there. I mean, these are going to be the next Renee Acho, John
Mm-hmm.
Apap. These are going to be the next top agents in the next 20, 30 years, or even 5 years. So,
Right.
the other thing I want to mention about our publication is that we only partner with people we're referred to. So we don't partner with just anyone. So when the realtors open up that publication and see our preferred partner section, they know that these partners were referred by other top agents in the area. So, they feel comfortable, if they need a home inspector or a mortgage company or a title company, that they're calling someone that's been referred by other top people in the industry.
Right.
So
No
again, our
schlubs.
goal is
You're
to
not
work
putting
with the
schlubs
best.
in
You
it.
can't
right?
just
No.
you can't just pay to play.
Well,
So-
it's yeah.
Right,
I mean, the
you
people in
cannot
there,
pay.
buy
I will.
the-
I will
yeah.
deny someone. I mean,
the people are vouched for, right? I
that's
mean,
our reputation on the
Right.
line too. You
And
know,
I think, as Paul pointed out, the publication is amazing. The branding, being in front of these realtors every month is great, but really the big value are the events.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the reality is it's amazing because at our event that we had, our first one in September, we didn't have 100% attendance from our clients. So all we can do is what we can do. And what we promise is we're going to put a great publication out, and we're going to give you the platform to build those relationships. And Paul, as you point out as well, relationships take time. So the reality is most of our clients across the country in this publication and real producers renew, and those renewing are not necessarily looking at what relationship did I build that led to this business, because the reality is those are going to happen.
Yeah.
But also, it's very hard to quantify the people that you do business with that also do business with other lenders that you met at an event, rekindled that relationship, and then now they're referring you more business.
Yeah.
So it's all about the relationships. I mean,
Yeah,
as I
I
mentioned.
mean, we don't look at it like on a per loan basis, right? Like, oh, this came from that. Like you said, it's just, I think it's great to just start building the relationships, talking to people, getting our name out there, letting other people know what we do, right? Because we've worked, me, Paul, Chad, Brad, we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years, just building relationships. That's all we've done. We've never bought leads or anything like that. So to have an opportunity to be in front of the top agents is great, and we're definitely thankful for it.
And building relationships for me is really hard because most people don't like me. So it's like it's really helping out quite a bit. At least
Do you have pink eye?
no.
One of your eyes is really red.
Really?
Super pink.
Sounds
Yeah.
super paranoid.
Come here, touch it.
No.
touch it. Oh
No,
my
it's
gosh.
Sorry. So
You're giving him a complex now.
Yeah.
Everyone stare at his left eye.
So
By the way, can I say something? I love that Paul says it as it is. I mean, there's too much.
People really don't like him.
I don't want to, but there's too much people that fluff stuff and whatever. I mean, he says it how it is, and I know you
Thank
do
you.
this with your clients. You are. I mean, I love that about you, and I'm assuming all you guys are like this because you guys formed this amazing company
Thank
and you
you.
came together, and that hey, you're gonna say it how it is. We're gonna help you, and you're gonna be real, and
I mean-
people appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we
Thank
kind
you.
of we
Yeah.
treat everyone, I feel like, that. We don't sell.
No,
You know,
no,
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm definitely like if I was to call leads all day, I probably wouldn't write a lot of loans.
So
you know, 'cause
sell
I don't know how to.
people.
sell.
You
gotta
don't
sell
pitch?
him. You got to close.
Not
him,
really.
right? Yeah,
No.
he doesn't have a
Pu-
pitch.
He doesn't pitch.
He doesn't pitch.
No.
He doesn't. He's just like, hey man, do you like me? All right, cool.
Sal on the phone is the least salesy person. He's the most real human.
Yeah.
It's facts. It's what's best for you. This is how it is. The good, the bad, the ugly. Doesn't matter. And people appreciate that.
And when Sal
Yeah, for
loses
sure.
a loan or like he doesn't get a deal, like we had one and they ended up going to Quicken, but like he was like, well, whatever, man. He didn't like me. I don't care. I'm moving on. And I'm like, no, we gotta like call. And he's like, no, dude. I should have played better. I'm moving on. So it's really interesting the way and that's why we're gonna do a little questions for Sal. We're gonna do the Sal corner here in a little bit. So
I wish I knew about the South Corner.
yeah, I know, right? I sent the show notes last night, buddy. You should have known. Well, I appreciate the kind words, but yeah, we are. I mean, I think that's what you need to do in this industry. I really do. I think the guys that sit here and like, hey, right? Like, kick rocks, dude. Like, nobody wants to talk to that guy. Like, just be yourself, and people will work
Right.
with people that they like. And if you don't like me, well, then we're not going to work together. That's really the long and short of it. You know, one thing, the events that we went to was really, really well done. And what you guys are doing, the reason we signed up, just so everybody knows, I didn't sign up for the publication. I didn't sign up for I signed up because I believed in these guys. Like, these guys like are doing such a good job with the social, with the networking, with the events. That's when I told you this, when we bought into the publication, it was because we bought into you guys. That's the big
Right.
difference. Because if someone else was running it and they weren't doing a good job, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter how great the publication is. By the way, we're doing a spread today. We're gonna have a photo shoot. Brad actually is wearing a tie, which is weird.
Nice.
Yeah, I might take it off.
Yeah, you got to take that off.
What?
I don't like it.
I mean, I don't even. It's like
Yeah.
where'd you get that?
Junior high.
Do you really want the real story where I got it? I found it in my garage in a box.
No.
Bozo the clown would wear it.
Junior high.
Keep the tie on.
I think it looks good. I think you look great.
They all don't have ties. You have a
appreciate
tie.
It's all right. No, he looks great. This is the best.
I can
I've ever
switch out
seen
for a
him
bow tie.
look.
No.
No.
I live right down the street. I can grab you another one.
All right, so next topic I do want to talk about, and I think it's indicative of what's happening. I think it's relevant to what you guys are doing. The real estate industry is changing a lot right now.
Every day.
And it's accelerating. The amount of change that we're seeing in our industry is like, I think we're at a tipping point where now we're going to start really seeing compression in the market. Margins are going to get compressed, and we're going to see a lot of new things happening because people have to adapt to this new market, and the ones that don't adapt are going to fail,
They're gonna
right?
fall off, yeah.
And so there's going to be compression, there's going to be adaptation, and then the ones that make it through it are going to succeed, or they're going to go out of business. So in the real estate industry right now, I'm seeing a lot of changes, whether it's on the mortgage side or even on the real estate agent side, where we're seeing a lot of technology coming in. We're seeing a lot of like venture capitalist money coming in, trying to change the market with like all these different ways to buy and sell your house. Like, you know, people are creating marketplaces where you could just put your house up and someone will just buy it and without really using a real estate agent. So the real estate agent model is being attacked on every angle. Do you guys see that as a potential danger for even what you do, right? Or do you see the real estate agent enduring through that and finding a way to like fight through it?
I mean,
I think the top people,
Yeah.
or the cream's always going to rise to the top. And it's interesting because Tara pointed out your guys' ad, Omega Lending, your ad in our publication. Tara said, I love the ad. And the ad's simple. It has a picture of an old telephone, and it says, we always pick up the phone. And it's interesting because over the past 7 years, I've called thousands of businesses. Over this year, I've called hundreds of realtors. And it's unbelievable how many people don't answer their phone. I mean, it boggles my mind. And I understand that someone might get a voicemail, someone's in a meeting or whatever, but returning that call within an hour, 2 hours, a day. I mean, some people don't return calls ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
See, it sounds
half the
easy, but
battle.
nobody does it.
right,
Right.
exactly.
When
It's
you
the
talk
simple
to
things.
someone, you're gonna see who will endure, right? Because like I've got a deal right now and this agent won't return my call, and it's like, hey man,
blows my mind.
I think he wants the client to use another lender or whatever, and the lenders or the client said, hey, I want to work with you. I'm getting pushed the other way, blah blah blah. Call this guy, hey man, I just want to talk about it. Just send me the purchase agreement, send me the docs, so we can. No call back, no text, nothing. It's like, dude.
You know, it's funny.
So that I know he'll be wiped out.
Yeah,
hopefully.
wiped out. Because the beauty of our industry is like
Hopefully.
most people, like there's so many real estate agents, so many loan officers, but the reality is there's not a lot of great ones. And
There's
it's
a lot of
funny
bad ones.
in our business, it doesn't take a lot to be great. Literally,
Answer the phone.
Answer the phone, and you're better than like 90%
I
of the
think
people.
a lot of people, right, especially in this market
say hello.
where you can trip, down the street and find a deal, or at least maybe this summer.
Yeah.
Or in the past few years, kind of same thing with loan officers who do a lot of refinances, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, meh, I don't need to return his call. I got business anyways. I'm getting paid.
Right.
What the hell are you going to do, when push comes to shove and it gets a little tight?
Which is really
You're
funny.
gonna
'cause we talk about it all the time, and that's a big reason why we see a lot of value in this is because our business is social. It's networking. It's relationships.
Right.
You can't build a relationship if you don't ever answer the phone. If you don't ever talk to another human being,
Yeah.
you're just getting by falling on deals. You're gonna go away quick. So
Yeah, it's funny when the market was really, really hot, and like in the summer and then like last year, like it was like smoking hot, and everybody was becoming a realtor. Oh, I'm gonna be an agent. I'm gonna do real estate. I'm gonna get rich. And then when you get in when you're in a really hot market like that, you can actually make a little bit of money and suck.
Sure.
Right? Because it's so hot, you could suck and still make some money. And everybody's like, "Oh, I'm a good agent." And all of a sudden, the market gets tough, and they got to work harder. And like to your point, the cream will always rise. Right? The great ones will always. I believe this wholeheartedly. I think the best in every profession will be rewarded. Right? Whether you're the best garbage man, whether you're the best.
And what we do
cleaning
isn't
right? It doesn't matter.
extraordinarily hard. You got to make a lot of calls, right? So
Yeah.
when you've got deals and you're kind of chilling, waiting for them to close, you got a big paycheck coming.
It's hard to make that call.
It's hard to make the calls, but those who
'Cause you're getting
don't,
fat.
Mm-hmm.
Not you.
Or they're
but
relying on
in
those-
general. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm all-time heavy right now.
Are
I'm
you
getting,
really?
Yeah, I'm getting bigger.
You think this is the biggest you've ever been?
Yeah, and I'm only on my way up.
is this South Corner?
Not yet.
Not
No,
yet.
yeah, we're not. We're
Did
not
you get
we're
those
not-
18 wings last night?
I did, yeah.
You
I went
ate
to beat ups
18
and
wings?
just smashed a ton of wings, yeah.
Oh boy.
When Sal eats a lot of wings, he sweats a little bit, and it's like labor intensive. At one
Yeah.
time, he literally flagged me over at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he's like, "Bro, I need you to help me with these wings."
There's like 2 left.
So you were serious. You are going to smash those donuts after your
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
no
I'm so
joke.
glad I brought
donuts.
donuts
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. there's a
Sal,
lot of
every
donuts.
restaurant
Donuts and
Sal goes
cider.
to, every single one of them, like he loves food, right? And it's rare that he doesn't say this. He's like, "Man, that food. Have you been to X? Bro, that place is amazing. It's the best. Heaven. It's heaven." And I'm like, "Is there any food places you don't like?" Like he'll say it about like,
I'm like Guy Fieri, just like
Like-
eating like a slop sandwich.
it might be like
God,
Little
it's so
Caesars
good.
pizza, right? Little
Caesars is heaven.
See,
Little
I'll
Caesars
agree with you on that.
built a lot of what we see in Detroit. You know,
Oh,
when
yeah.
when
That's
people,
true.
Oh yeah.
one thing that just grinds my gears, kind of going off topic
Well,
a little bit,
okay,
but
yeah, go
the
ahead.
whole like Little Caesars arena, people up in arms about that. The
Because
name
they
Little
named it,
Caesars.
yeah.
Well, it should be, what?
No, they deserve that.
Piss off.
Yeah, piss off.
Yeah,
They built
I mean
it.
that whole arena was built on hot and readies.
100 at a time. Yeah.
Come on, dude.
And Crazy Bread. For sure.
Yeah.
So like the whole point of the conversation I want to bring up is I do think, Brad, and I think we're seeing this a lot, is we're seeing a lot of change in our industry. So being able to adapt to that quickly is really, really important. The refinance market for loan officers is dwindling. It's going to go down quite a bit.
It's gone. It's not
It's
dwindling.
not gone.
The
People will
majority
refinance.
of it is gone. People are going to refinance always, but for the most part, it's gone. It's not like it was
Unless you get a
4 years
divorce
ago.
or
Yeah,
pull cash out.
divorce. You're trying to buy out another partner's ownership in an investment property or whatever. The refis are gone.
I think I've done
unless,
5 of them this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's where previously you do 5 a day, like 4 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
It's, they're gone.
Right. When I got in the industry, I was always an inside sales guy. So I did the majority of my lifespan in this industry. I've been in it for a long time. Was a lot of refinances.
Paul's
a lot
really
of,
old.
A lot of the
Okay.
well, so is Tara. So chill
Hey,
out. So
watch
chill
it.
out.
She was younger.
Man.
So is Tara. I mean, we graduated the same year. We look pretty good though. for
You were
being
held back a
old.
few years.
Yep.
Yeah. So my point is, that's all going. So there, you like these. If you're a loan officer, if you don't have the relationships and you haven't been working on them, all of a sudden now what's happening in our industry is real estate agents are getting a lot of phone calls. All of a sudden, they're getting a lot of phone calls from loan officers that were doing a lot of refinances, and now they're like, oh. Hey,
Hey, bro.
Where's
the business?
Hey, man, where are you? What is
Hey,
going
buddy.
on? Hey, buddy, what is going on with your business, man? So, as a real estate agent, I mean, that'd be kind of annoying. It's like, dude, all of a sudden now you care about my business? Really?
Right.
Where were you 2 years ago, 3 years ago? You know, that's a big deal, and it's going to be hard to transition for a lot of people, don't you think?
And I think that leads to a lot of people not answering their phone.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's
And
true.
that's why the
They're getting blown up
relationships, you
because
know?
people are trying to get loans that don't know how to.
Yeah, and then what's your value proposition, right? So for
Hey!
us, so for us, the biggest thing that we do, I think that is a little bit different, is we obsess about adding value to our partners. How do we add value? Where is the value that we can add to our partners? And whether that's, doing open houses, whether that's helping them with their social, or whether that's, putting them on our pocket, whatever it is. And we're always thinking about how can we create more value for ourselves. And I think that's something, I mean, doing a good job in our market today as a loan officer doesn't cut it, right? Oh, if this is your pitch when you go talk to a real estate agent, hey, we're going to close fast and I'm going to communicate highly with you. Nobody cares. Everybody does that. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to end up being in the business, right? So it's like, what's the next value proposition for loan officers, right? We're looking for it, and I don't have all the answers, but like, we have to find ways to be able to add value to all our partners, like you guys are doing with the publication, right? Nobody has anything on that.
I mean,
I figured
We're all looking for
I
it.
know.
everyone's looking for it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we are a small step ahead
Small.
of the game,
Yeah.
but I think that's because we've been focused on it for so long. Right?
Yeah.
So we don't really have the one thing that's
There's
ahead
no
of everyone.
silver
We have-
bullet,
We have a
right?
lot of
Value to-
little things, right? But
Value to one agent may not be the
Right.
same
Exactly.
value to another.
Yeah.
So you have to create the relationship and figure out what everyone wants.
Right. Well, I think the relationship is number one.
yes,
Number one.
Well, it's actually the only thing,
Well,
right?
no,
because
because-
the value, you wouldn't have a relationship if you didn't have value. So the value is derived from whatever, that relationship is based upon.
yeah, but you got to constantly look for value because, like I'm married, right? And we've got a great relationship. But if I don't add value, why are you shaking your head?
I was like, it's a slippery
That's-
slope. Is all I was
Yeah.
saying.
All
Keep
I'm
going.
saying is-
But you wouldn't have been married if you didn't provide the right value up front.
but I got to
right?
keep providing value, if you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
you might have to reinvent yourself
You know,
once in a while. You got to
like,
adapt.
At least once or twice a
Right.
week, I'm adding value, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was a good analogy.
Thanks, man. Right, we got to add value to our partners, or else, then what's the point, right? If you're not always looking for ways to be a better partner than within any relationship, right?
Yeah.
You always have to be.
but
Looking
it does.
For it.
It starts with the relationship. Whether it's, I mean, you haven't really proven or added any value when you first start that relationship, but it's getting out, networking, and these events are awesome because the more events you can go to, you can network more and build a social. It's all the beginnings of relationships, right? Now it's what's the next step in the relationship. When do we talk again? When do we meet again? What do I do for you on that second date? Right?
Yeah, Brad. When's the last time you added value to your wife?
Dude. I don't know why she stays with me.
You're not adding a lot of value.
No. I'm always here with
At least
you.
once a month, at least.
Man,
Once a month, are you adding value?
Man, come on.
such a pervert.
I know. All right, so the next segment of the show is going to be Sal's Corner. How are you, Sal?
Oh, good.
So Salvatore Cusmano is probably one of
rounded
the.
corner.
And I've been in this business for 16 years. And Sal is literally one of the best loan officers I've ever been around. He is always on his phone. It's hard to have a conversation with him because he's always texting or calling someone. He is so on top of his business. He's neurotic about it. It's almost annoying, but it's great for his clients, right? So we're gonna ask Sal 3 questions. Ready, Sal?
Yeah.
What is the biggest mistake you've seen a real estate agent make on the client's behalf? Ooh.
That's tough. I mean, honestly, I think one of the biggest mistakes is up front, when they're like, all right, let's say we get a client pre-approved, they're showing them houses or whatever, probably not calling the loan officer beforehand to figure out how to structure that offer, right? And not all the time, right? I mean, you got a very well-qualified client who's putting down 20, 30%, whatever, right? Go get the deal. But on a first-time home buyer, right, who doesn't really know what they're doing, sometimes the real estate agent will give them the numbers. They'll estimate them, and they'll give them to the client.
They're doing your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, because they might have a calculator or, something their broker taught them. And then the client calls me, and they're like, all right, great, we got an accepted offer. Oh, really? Right? And then I give them the numbers, and they're completely different. They're freaking out. The deal's falling apart, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, the biggest mistake I would say is probably not answering the call of the lender who's actually doing
Not
the
creating
deal.
the synergy with you
Yeah.
to work together
You know,
on the deal,
I mean,
right?
and if they're not communicating with me, right, they're going to have a tough time.
That's gonna be
that
hard,
deal's going to
yeah.
be tough to close. I mean, it's funny how often we're actually waiting on something from one of the agents to close the deal. Hey, we need this addendum signed. Hey, we need this. Hey, we need this disclosure that you didn't put in your original packet. And then we get a call from their assistant or something. Is this deal cleared to close yet?
Right.
No, dude. We sent you like 30 emails. But overall, I don't run into too many issues with agents, though. I mean, they've, for the most part.
That's bullshit. I hear Sal all the time. This fucking agent. Like,
Well, yeah, but I'm like neurotic, right? On big mistakes,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't really happen too often. It's hard to, once you're into contract, like screw it up.
yeah.
You know, that's not, after the deal is made, that's like on our part on whether we're going to screw it up or not,
Okay.
right? That's when the torch is usually passed to us.
Got it. Okay. Well, I think we get the point now.
What?
Anybody have anything else on that?
No.
I mean, don't you
I mean,
agree with that though?
I agree 100%. But
Well, do you,
it
do you
didn't
guys
really
agree
answer
like
the question.
synergy with people? What's that?
So it didn't really answer the question, though.
I mean, I
it
think
was such a just generalized
Well,
answer.
it's a
You
pretty
just-
good
here's
answer.
the
Your
thing,
role,
right? Like
right?
everyone makes mistakes, and it's about how we get it to the table. So if they make a mistake or I make a mistake, I will pick up their slack, right, and figure out how to get the deal done.
Got it.
And that happens often. You know, hey, I don't know what to do here. Do this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hey, I did this. All right, shit. Make a call. Tell them this. Let's get it done. I don't really care,
Yeah.
right?
Good. Okay. I like that. That's a good answer. Good answer. Good answer, everybody. Good answer. Can we get a little clap?
This isn't Family Feud.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Come on, let's keep it rolling.
Okay. All right. Next question. What sets apart a good loan officer versus a bad loan officer?
So many things.
I think that probably beating a dead horse, right, or trying to sell someone on working with you when they're already like getting a better deal elsewhere, you know? I mean, if someone calls me and they're like, yeah, I got to deal with a bank, right, and they're doing this, I will explain to that client why they shouldn't work with their bank, right, especially if it's one that has a bad reputation.
Right.
If someone calls me, hey, I'm approved with another broker or someone I know who does a good job, they're giving me this, you know, I'm not going to go there and sell them to work with me if I'm giving them a worse deal. You know, it's kind of like, all right, let's keep the ball moving. Kind of like this little interview for me. I just like to keep it moving, get all the BS out of the way, and just keep moving forward. But
So basically, not doing what's right for the client.
not doing what's right for the client, thinking about, you know, the commissions. I
That's
kind
short-sighted, right?
Yeah, I mean, I look at what I do as a business, not really that I'm a loan officer, you
Right.
know, because I kind of look at it like a profit and loss, right? As long as I'm winning more than I'm losing, I'm going to be all right, right? And I can't win without losing. I can't win without striking out because I won't be at the plate, right? Like
Yeah.
I have to figure out that, hey, I didn't win this deal because of this, right? And if the client didn't like me, that's my fault. If I had a worse price or whatever, that's not necessarily my fault, but I didn't explain to the client why, you know, $10 more a month is worth working with me.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So it is what it is. And I think that a lot of people out there think that what they do is, you know, special because they got this program or they got this and they got that, but they don't even really understand what they're doing. Right? They're just selling loans, but they don't understand what the client actually wants. Right? They don't understand how to get
Yeah.
them to the table.
Again, back to that earlier point about Sal, just no bullshit, tells it like it is.
Yeah.
Not going to
Yeah.
sell you. He's
Well,
going to give you the
I tell
facts.
everyone, listen, there is a lower rate out there. If all you care about is rate, go ahead and shop.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going to find a lower than me. And if you want, I'll help you find someone lower than them
And by the way,
and someone lower than that person. So drive around all day to find the cheapest gas.
I just want
You
the
know?
audience to know we're very competitive on rates, so don't
Bro,
not
for sure. I'm not trying to put us in a bad light, but I mean,
But
you know,
there
it's
There's
like
always,
anything.
going to be someone with a lower rate.
Yeah.
Someone with a better
If you want to
deal.
go drive to, you know, Gary, Indiana to go get gas today, go do it.
But you guys
Right?
pick up your phone.
Gary.
Yeah.
You guys
True.
pick up
Gary,
It's a
Indiana,
service.
Gary,
Yeah.
Indiana,
It's,
Gary,
you know,
Indiana.
hey, you're going to get a fair deal. I'm going to make this process a lot less stressful.
Tara knows what I'm talking about. So, anyways, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, thanks.
Um,
Sal's corner turned into Paul's.
sorry. So the third question, I want you guys to ask him a question. Yeah, that's right. You're on the spot.
Man.
What's the worst thing you did in high school?
That's a good one.
Good. That is. I
The
know.
worst
I know
thing you
one
did?
really bad thing he did, but go ahead.
PG-13.
No,
Okay,
we're rated mature
maybe not the
content.
worst.
Yeah,
but-
we have
We have
Yeah.
mature content rating.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
He's going through that.
I was a pretty good
Do you
kid
like
in high
beers?
school. You know, I honestly
That's a boring answer. Come on.
college a little different, but yeah, me and my buddies, we lit a basket of kittens on fire.
No, you
I'm
did
kidding.
not.
I'm kidding. I'm
Oh
kidding.
my!
No,
That is so wrong.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Come on,
Oh, Peter.
it's a joke.
Instantly,
Jeez.
I
Yeah.
looked at you.
There goes our
as a
business.
different-
There goes our business.
No, honestly,
Not even cool.
yeah, I don't know, man. That's a weird question. I don't, in high school, I don't know.
Just tell the Jeep story, man.
Yeah, that was after college.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
No, and I don't want to talk about that story. Yeah, I don't know. Your standard stuff, man. Nothing
I have a
crazy.
question. I hear that you like to cook.
I do.
Oh.
Okay, tell me about one of your specialties
Oh.
that you like to make.
I mean, it's nothing, groundbreaking, but I get the salmon fillets, and I put the thick Dijon mustard on it on the top, and then put it on tin foil and throw it on the grill. It's heaven. It
Heaven.
flucks apart.
Any
good. It's
seasoning
a nice
besides the
area.
mustard?
A little bit of salt and pepper, but it creates this crust. You keep the top of the grill closed, and it's heavenly.
All right.
That sounds
Man,
good.
that sounds good. I don't even like fish, and it sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You should try it.
Oh, you should
It'd be
make
good.
it for me.
It'd be good in an air fryer.
should
You
make
ever
it
use
for
an
me
air
one day.
fryer?
Yeah.
So speaking
Oh
of
my
high
gosh.
school, I'm gonna tell a story
fryer's
about
hot.
Tara
Oh,
real
no.
quick. So Tara in high school was a Spitfire, right? But like we were hanging out, we were like in drama or was
Yeah.
like, it was something
Stagecraft or drama.
stagecraft. And Jake Dombrowski, do you know Jake Dombrowski, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he picked her up or something, and she like fell over and she landed on her hand. Well, her finger popped open.
It literally popped
It
open.
literally popped open,
Wow.
and blood started gushing everywhere. It didn't get cut.
Like a Pez dispenser?
It didn't get cut. It did. Her skin popped open like a balloon, and
It
blood
did.
started gushing out.
Because when he lifted me and we fell, I fell on me. He fell on me. So I had the pressure of him, me,
Man.
on my finger. I still have the scar.
That's crazy.
It literally busted open. My fingernail popped off. And they put me in a wheelchair and took me off to get stitches.
So that thing just looked like a
that.
hot dog in a
This is a
microwave.
real
just
story.
split
I
wide
still
open.
have this.
Broke your
No
finger. You
nail.
can't walk.
Hey, weren't you in the? Were you in the Wizard of Oz, by the way?
No, I was not. in
Oh, I
Wizard of
thought you were
Oz.
one of those monkeys.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I was Dorothy in the Wizard
could
of
see
Oz.
why.
You
I
were
could see
No, I was not in the
Jacob
Wizard of
and
Oz.
Scott were.
Paul 220% was one of the monkeys
No,
inside.
no,
of
no,
us.
no. I
The
was-
original one.
Listen, my girlfriend at the time was in drama, which was the only reason I was in drama.
Paul is
Beautiful
like-
voice.
Paul
Beautiful
is
voice.
Benjamin Button.
I'm
He's
Benjamin-
just slowly growing backwards.
You do look pretty good.
Yeah, in like 3 years, you're gonna be like.
I'm just gonna be a raisin. Like, so I'm gonna hit a point where it just all collapses.
Yeah, they say like your nose and your ears never stop
So
growing.
I got big problems. So, yeah. So if anybody knows Jake, you know he's an idiot, and he just picked you up like, and he thought he was gonna be cool. Fell over, crushed her finger. Like you
Yeah.
said, she gets wheeled out. And
Man, the,
Yeah, that
the
was
toughest part
embarrassing.
about that was the fingernail popping off.
But my mom, I just talked to her about it this morning. I said, she goes, I thought it was never gonna grow back. Well, it's fine.
I mean, your finger's
But
kind of
the
screwed
scar-
up. It looks kind of weird.
It's a little crooked.
Yeah.
That's all right.
How's it
Glad
work
it
on the
grew
touch
back.
screens? Do you have a problem with that?
I'm right-handed, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
good.
Yeah.
That's traumatic.
So you guys had a special announcement you wanted to announce.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
So we've had a lot of, the publication has been amazing, and we've had a lot of great feedback, and we've had a lot of people request us to go to other counties. So we are actually starting Real Producers of Wayne County. So Chris is actually meeting with quite a few realtors today to hear their story for a potential feature. And so that is coming out. And if you know someone that you want to recommend be featured, get in touch with us, Facebook, email, Instagram, or if you know someone that wants to connect with the top agents in Wayne County. I mean, I love Wayne County between Detroit, Northville, you got Grosse Pointe, Downriver. There's so many great areas in Wayne County, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what kind of events we'll have and to see, you know, to feature the people.
Yeah.
So
That's really awesome.
I mean, the
Congrats.
reality is every county has top producers, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of endless potential for you guys as far as the publications go, because you know whether you're like you said, like a John Apap or whatever in Oakland County, there's
Right.
you know a ton of people, even in like Port Huron, right? There's like an agent who owns that whole market.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
We're probably going to be standing pat at 2, at least for us, because I mean
It's a lot of work.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
What's funny is 2 years ago, the plan was for Tara to stay not working till the kids were in
Right.
high school.
Well, I don't see you
maybe.
guys doing like real producers of Houghton Lake, right? There'd be like
Yeah.
2 people there.
Right.
So
Yeah,
maybe.
and
I
I
don't
don't
know
and
though.
I don't need you spreading yourselves too thin because we're in
Right.
Oakland County. I really need you to focus on Oakland County.
well, of course.
By the way, I know you say that jokingly, but
It's true,
100%. If we were to do, we could launch 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, but you don't want.
But
yeah,
At
you
least
don't
the
want-
Tri-County area, probably though,
but-
right?
100. I know you say that jokingly, but that's why we would
Yeah.
not do.
Yeah,
We
I
want to focus
I really
on.
need you to focus on us.
We want to
Quality, not
build.
quantity.
We want to build and keep going. You know, building strong what we have and keep spreading the word about real producers. You know, in Oakland County and now
Yeah.
Wayne County.
Well, you don't want to dilute the who's who-ness of it, right?
Yeah, and,
The eliteness of
Right.
being. It's like you said. It's not like, hey, you know, like I just started. I think I'm an up and comer. Like, no, dude. Like, people got to know who you are. Like, you have to have a reputation to be part of this, right?
Right.
It's referrals. It's
Mhm.
you know, your results allow you to be in this. So
Right.
Is that person allowed to subscribe to the publication and get the magazine, or is it only for the people who are the top producers that actually get the publication too?
So the
Or can
top,
like a title company like, hey, I want to know who's who and get the magazine?
if they're our clients get a copy.
Right.
But other than that, across the country, there's some realtors that subscribe.
And
They-
brokers, yeah.
and we charge a yearly fee. We haven't done that yet, but that will come up, I'm sure, at some point. But it's not going to be thousands of copies.
Right
or
now, it's
anything.
just the top
500.
agents that get the magazine. We get the
Exactly.
magazine being a partner. That's it. It's a closed group right now. It's
Right.
not totally open.
And again, because we're telling their personal stories. I mean, do they
Right.
really want that out everywhere? You know, that's up to them, and that's why people get reprints. But, you know, again, the goal is to share their story and, again, build those relationships. So-
Last question for you guys, and then we'll
Yeah.
have you give everybody your contact information. I know you asked Sal a tough question. Who is the biggest prima donna that you guys have worked with so far?
Oh, boy.
Because there's a lot of
It's
it's
videos.
kind of like, do you? What do you?
Everyone's been great. Everyone has
Yeah.
been
Good
great.
answer.
I mean, seriously, I
You got
love.
them. You got one of them like kicking the stool from the other one so they can hang themselves. Come on, dude.
No,
Jesus.
no.
Like,
No.
Who's the? How about this? Who's
I'm
the?
like, no.
Who's the bigger prima donna between the two of you?
Oh,
There you go.
You know what? Go ahead, talk.
I mean, I just
No, I just know what he's gonna
realized
say.
as Tara's talking that she's a much better human than I am. On many
He was ready to
accounts.
throw someone under the
you just
bus.
pulled out the
Jody
list.
was like I'm busting it out. I know who it is. No, don't
He
bust
will
it out.
tell you I am not high maintenance at all.
No,
Only
nothing.
with my food because I have so many food allergies. I'm very particular at a restaurant. But
If you want to see her pissed, have a waitress
Oh,
take her
God.
food order without writing it down.
oh my gosh, do
That's
not do
what- that's
that.
how she
I was
is
in the
crazy.
restaurant industry for years. Just write it down. You're not impressing me by trying to remember it. Write it down and get it right.
Well, she didn't expect you to say no this, no that, add this, add this.
No, I warned them. You might want to write this down.
writing
You may
things
wanna
down
write
is
this
important. You know, I feel like even in our business, people wing it, right? I
Right.
do often, and then I'm like,
Right.
I forgot
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah.
right? And not that I'm bad, but it doesn't hurt to write it down.
But I want to go back real quick, if I could,
Yeah.
to you talking about the realtors because that's one of the things I love and I get really excited about is sitting down, meeting with realtors, hearing their story. You know, some people were school teachers and then now they're selling 20 million a year. You know, like people can go from one career to another. Or like Renee Yacho, she was a school teacher and now she's a wide known name and top agent. So I love hearing their people's stories and they get really excited sharing their story. And I really build a relationship with them in these initial meetings because they're sharing their personal story about themselves.
Yeah.
So, and then, I love being able to share it with other people.
No, Tara does a really
really-
good job. So, really, I mean, the publication, just so everybody knows, just to wrap this up because we're running out of time, it is a great publication. It's a great thing to be a part of. You guys do a really good job. It's like everything's like high level. It's not just like slapped together. Pictures are amazing. Your social's amazing. Your events have been amazing. Like everything's been really, really well done. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
Tell the audience if they want to get a hold of you, especially if they want to do the Wayne County thing. Let them know how they can get a hold of you.
Okay. You can get in touch with Chris or myself. My phone number is 586-615-8749. You can also get in touch with us on Facebook or Instagram. We have a Real Producers of Oakland County Facebook page. You can connect with me personally or Chris. And even shoot us an email, tara.chody. I'm not going to spell it. Or maybe I should spell it. It's a podcast, right?
You might want to spell it.
TERRA.CSOTTY@realproducersmag.com.
Which, by the way, the Chody is not spelled the
Yeah,
way that it should
that's
be.
why I gotta
Which is-
spell it. Kasadi, Shadi, I've heard it all.
It's harder than my last name, which is
Apostolakis?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Mine's
pretty easy for
phonetic,
some reason.
yeah. But Chody, it's like Tauti.
right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Obviously, thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you.
Chad, you really added a lot of value to the show today. I appreciate it. You look fantastic.
Thanks
though.
for being
Appreciate you guys
Yeah.
having me.
So everybody that's listening, obviously, please subscribe. Go to our website, repodcast.com. Go to our Facebook page. Go to Omega Lending. I don't know, all that stuff. Subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Bye.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate, the
Oh,
nation's
my
top real estate podcast. Don't forget to follow us